righty, 10:02 on the fan. What's happening, everybody? How are we? Tick-tock. Tickety-tockety, Giant fans. Tickety-tockety as we inch towards Saturday and what's going to be a rough night.
What the hell are you talking about? Why are you hating already?
No, I'm not hating. Listen, I got to tell you, though, and I'm all for suspending reality. I do it with my teams. I get it. Giants are, I mean, somebody's got to be the honest voice on this station. I mean, Giants are going to get smacked.
Why do you actually believe that?
Number one, because the Eagles are a lot better.
But they have not played better.
And number two, because the Eagles own the Giants for a long chunk of time.
Yeah,
15 of 18.
I know for a fact you don't believe that.
What?
It doesn't matter past history on what's happening immediately. As if you do, then all of that nonsense about the New England Patriots in week, 7 and then 14, it all doesn't matter.
That's true.
Because we know how many times the Patriots.
But it doesn't apply to the Jets and the Patriots.
Yeah, it's true. Because of course, the Patriots are going to win regardless of how good the Jets are.
Selective stats, Tiki.
Look, I get why people from the outside.
We're just getting a little giddy here. Not again, we're getting a little, we're losing sight of how good the Eagles are.
I can't even
That's
say,
my point.
I can't even say outside because honestly, BT, yesterday we had a Giant fan call us and joke about it. But in jest, there's always some seriousness. But the Giants had a 20% chance of winning.
Yes, I remember
so
that.
Even if you realistically believe the Giants can win, there's this little seed of doubt that's just sitting there. And it's mainly because the Philadelphia Eagles, for 75%, maybe 80% of the season, were the best team in football. And I was even admitting it. I was like, the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football right now. Jalen Hurts is playing at an MVP level. They got 2 stud wide receivers. They got a pretty good tight end, an excellent run game, top 5 in the NFL. Their defense is leading the league in sacks. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the secondary who's leading the league in interceptions. It's like, all right, show me the weakness. There really wasn't one. But the reason when I look at this Giants-Eagles divisional round weekend game, this matchup, that I think the Giants have a shot is simply because of how the Giants play. They're going to keep it a one-possession game, and in one-possession games, anything can happen. That's how.
Well, that's where you and I did.
That's how inferior teams.
So sure, it's a
that's how
game.
Inferior. I put this in quotes. Yep. Inferior teams beat superior teams.
That's certainly a blueprint for it. No, I hear you. You got to muddy things up a little bit. You've got to slow down the Eagles, which I think is a lot harder to do than actually say. Which there's been a whole lot of saying this week. And again, on the radio, that's what you do. You say, I get it. Giants fans, you pumped. You should be. You've had a terrific season. But just a little injection of reality. December 11th, 48-22 Eagles. Oh, but the Giants were a very different team. I know. But the Eagles were a very different team. I know. Okay, fair. So you want to contextualize that. And I understand why you might. Got it. They hung 40 on Green Bay with ease. They hung 35 on Pittsburgh with ease. They hung 35 on Tennessee with ease. And I say with ease because there were other points to be had where they took their foot off the gas. Now, you're right. For roughly 85% of the season, Eagles were the best team in the NFL. For 85% of the season, they had the MVP. In totality, number 3 in the NFL offense, total yards. In totality on the season, number 2 in the NFL defensively in yards allowed. Listen, I know anything's possible. And I can't stand Philly. Like, I want the Giants to win the game. Not enough where I'm going to actually wear this jersey, but I want the Giants to win. But the Giants need to play, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the Giants need to play an A-plus game, and the Eagles need to play a B-ish kind of game. Well, I don't like those odds.
Yeah, I mean, certain things got to happen. The Eagles got to turn the ball over. But I look at this Giant Eagles history just this season, and the games that they played were interesting. The last one we can almost throw out, but I do think that you have to at least look at it briefly, because the Eagles had to win that game. That's why Jalen Hurts played. If they had beat the Cowboys or whoever, one of those teams down the stretch with Gardner Minshew at quarterback, Jalen Hurts isn't playing against the Giants. The only reason he played is because they had to win that game to secure the first-round bye and get rest for Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. All these guys, they had to get back. They needed a bye week, right? So they played, and they played to win it. And they got stymied and frustrated by basically the third stringers for the New York Giants. And then I go back to that first game that the Giants and the Eagles played in Week 14.
Yep, December 11th.
And the Giants were they were so inefficient. And to the point where they got down 14-0 early. And Brian Daboll, just trying to get a spark, goes for it on fourth down on their third possession. It was 4th and 7 on their own 43-yard line. He's so desperate that he goes for it.
But why were they so desperate? Why were they so inefficient? Because the Eagles are good.
Well, I mean,
that's why.
Well, they're not. The Eagles are good, but they also just made mistakes. That was actually not. That was the punt. They went for that was the muffed up punt or whatever the heck it was.
The rugby play.
The rugby play. Yeah. Right. So they could never get onto what they do, which is play smart, don't turn the ball over, have sustained drives. If you don't score, punt it. Play defense, bend, don't break. We're going to get an opportunity, limit the number of possessions. They weren't able to do that for whatever reason against the Eagles the first time they played, but that's when the Eagles were the best team in football. I just don't think the Eagles are still the best team in football. They're still really good, obviously, because the stats tell you so. On paper and the statistical rankings will tell you so. They got 8 Pro Bowlers and 6 All-Pros on this team, and a Coach of the Year candidate, a former MVP of the season candidate, and Jalen Hurts. Everything tells you that the Eagles have the advantage, but there's something about the way the Giants play when they're clicking, and right now they're one of the hottest teams in football.
I don't disagree with. They're definitely coming in with some mojo. They're coming in with some energy and some juice, and they've evolved, which is a massive credit. The easy thing is to say the coaching staff, which obviously is true, but the players have grown, and we've talked about Hodgins so many times. I mean, he's not just a cute little story.
No.
That man's a pretty damn good football player. Get it. Respect shown, respect given. But if I ask you to evaluate, and let's do it right now. So forget about the prism of then, through the prism of now. And what I mean by that is, as we've talked, really going into the Vikings game, we talked about this Giants season. The prism of then, and it was so paramount to their growth. I'm not trying to marginalize it. But was that really, truly that impressive of a win down in Tennessee? Tennessee's not good.
No, but that was Week 1.
Okay.
That was so long ago.
I got you.
Go ahead.
But that's also one of the 9 wins that they had. Week 2 against Carolina. They didn't even score 20 points. They won by 3. That was at home. The prism of then, it's impressive. Giants are 2-0. All right. Wow, new coaching staff. And again, credit given then, no doubt. Was that truly an impressive win? No. In Week 4, Chicago Bears, they win by, 8 points? Was that really impressive? No. So where were the truly impressive wins?
In Indianapolis.
You went to Seattle, you got punched by a pretty decent team.
The most recent example was
I got that. But you played Detroit, you got punched by a pretty decent team. You went out to Dallas, you got punched by a good team. I mean, really, where's the impressive win? I'm waiting.
Minnesota. Last weekend, which was the latest one.
I mean regular season. Where else?
It doesn't matter. Regular
season
it does, though. I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
It does, though.
It matters how you're playing going into this season.
Like, I just think we're overstating what the Giants have done and really understating who the Eagles are.
I don't think we're overstating who the Giants are. I think a lot of people are. I think the Giants are – we know exactly who they are. It's why they're frustrating to a lot of teams. It's why they're frustrating to watch, because – you feel like they could be better than they actually are, but they're not trying to be. They're just trying to be good enough to win because they know that they're not better on paper than some of these other teams. The Colts win was impressive. The Philadelphia loss was impressive.
The Colts have the worst coach in the history of the NFL.
The Minnesota loss
so impressive
was impressive. The Washington
So
win.
now we're going to give them impressive losses?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, they played bad in that game. 2 turnovers in that game.
You talk about grading on the curve, an impressive loss.
They could have and maybe should have and had to go for 2 to tie that game, to score and tie, to go for 2 to tie that game. They obviously lost on a last-second field goal to the Vikings, but it was impressive. It set them up to beat them the next time around. I think the Washington game, the second Washington game in Washington, to me was their best win of the season because of the winless slide that they were on. They basically went a month without winning, including the tie that they had against Washington 2 weeks prior. So that was an impressive win. So yeah, it's not pretty. It's not impressive by aesthetic standards, but victories in critical moments matter. And I think the Giants are tested to play playoff football because of how they won down the stretch.
I hope you're right. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. I mean, I don't know. We got Brandon Jacobs, who we love, coming in this morning, giving us Giants shirts. He's making a bet with me for next year's Jets-Giants game. This stupid jersey thing. Are you so Hoff? Real fast before we get these calls.
Yes.
Is somebody calling today? Is this still happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
11 o'clock hour, most likely early 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock today.
There will be a phone call.
Okay. Can you give me one hint? And if you don't want to, that's fine. Will this call be to implore me to man up and be a man of my word, or to be true to my team and not rock the Giants jersey?
I think.
Which way am I going to get pulled?
I think you're probably going to lean towards not putting on the jersey.
That's what I figured. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. Gotcha. I got you. How about, speaking of jerseys, how about Jalen Brunson? Walking into the card wearing a Jalen Hurts shirt. I get it.
He's only been here. If he's still on his cup of coffee. It's all good. He'll get converted. Maybe he's boys with Jalen Hurts.
I mean, his dad went to Temple. Yeah. He played at Nova. I get that.
Maybe he's boys. I'm going to excuse him for right now. All
right. Scotty's in East Hanover. Scott is on the fan first up on this Thursday. Scotty, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Happy Thursday to you. As you know, I'm a Giants season ticket holder. I've been rooting for my whole life. Yell Bowl, the whole bit. Tiki, we love you as always.
Thank you, brother.
Shout that out.
Thank you, man.
Hey, 2 things, and I wouldn't get through tomorrow probably. It's going to be a busy day for you guys. 2 things. This game reminds me, if I can go all the way back to 2002 when the Buccaneers came in at 8:30 at night to Philadelphia. Can't play below 32 degrees, and they smacked the Eagles around in that night game.
That's right.
My gut just makes me feel like this is that game.
Why?
I don't know why. It's just setting up to be that game.
But don't forget.
It's an odd reference point to get you juiced up.
Look, I know that game well. I was at that game because my brother was playing. That Tampa defense was one of the best of the decade, right?
But I know. I'm just saying at the time frame, the setting.
Oh, I see. Like where what the Eagles were all about. Like they knew the Eagles knew they were going to the Super Bowl that weekend.
Yeah,
they knew they were going, and then they got smacked around. Joe Jurevicius had a touchdown in that game. Former Giant.
Yep. Yeah.
Rondé obviously went pick six.
Time.
92 degrees.
Time,
it was late.
day.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
I hear you.
Second point, real quick. I hate to jump in. Tierney, you're going Geo on us here. We're going against the Giants, baby.
No, Scotty. Yeah, but I'm not. I just feel like, listen. So,
this has become a verb now.
Oh, jeez.
It's going Geo on you.
Listen, hear me. I want the Giants to win. I do. I want the Giants to win.
Thank you, Scotty.
I do. I really do. But come on, geez. We've got to have an ounce of credibility at this station. We're making it seem like the Eagles were, the 8-9 Tampa Bay Bucks, and they backdoored the playoffs because the division sucks. The Eagles were throttling teams this year, and now they're fully healthy. Somebody's got to inject an ounce of reality into the conversation, and I guess it's going to be me. Maddie's in Franklin Square. What's going on, Matt? How are you?
Boys, what's up?
Matt.
BT, you're killing me. Please, I beg you, none of this tomorrow. Get it all out of your system. Be Mr. Reality. I think every Giant fan realizes the Eagles are probably the better team. They've done it all season. But listen, we've got to believe, man. We just got to believe going in there that we can do this.
The better team doesn't always win.
D-line that can really do it.
The better team doesn't always win, Matt. We know this, right?
Exactly.
The better team doesn't always win.
the Giants have been here before. We've been road warriors and made our way, and that's part of the energy that we got going. So please, whatever you do, tomorrow, Friday, AC/DC,
Oh, yeah.
all positive energy.
Yeah, no, listen, I'll make a promise to you guys, Matty. That's something I can get down with that. Today is the day of truth. Today we're spitting truths here, all right? The serum is out. Tomorrow I will lie to you and tell you guys that I think you're going to win the game. I'll do that tomorrow for you. And no, seriously.
With the jersey on?
Whoever, I got to see who calls at 11. That's going to be a very big determining factor in whether or not that jersey goes on. I do have the Our Way slogan shirt that Brandon Jacobs dropped off, and I am respectfully hanging it on the microphone stand. Tiki, you can vow that I'm not trying to disrespect the Giants, but again, this is WFAN. This is the most powerful radio station in the history of sports. I know we're the home of the Giants, but the pom-poms can't be out 24/7. Somebody's got to bring a lick of objectivity to the table.
I am bringing reality.
Well, I know you're not going to do it.
The reality,
and nor should you, by the way.
The reality is that the Giants have been playing good football as of late, and the reality is that if Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones and I don't know who else sat out that game, Azeez Ojulari and Leonard Williams, I think, sat out that game as well. If McKinney. Our guy Julian Love didn't play a snap.
By the way, Julian joins us. Today. Pardon me, Tiki, at 1:20.
Yep, Dexter Lawrence didn't play. If all those guys played
Dex
in Week 18 against the Eagles, Giants beat the Eagles. That's all I'm saying. The way that they were playing, they beat the Eagles.
Listen, that's not even. Yes, but I can't say that you're wrong. I can't refute that factually. I'll tell you this. You know that Sharp Tierney likes to have a little fun with these numbers, engage in a little bit of extracurricular. I don't even know if I'm taking the 7.5 on Saturday night.
That's a lot.
Honestly, I don't even know.
Has it come back to earth?
Meaning, I don't even know if I trust the Giants enough to take 7.5 and
Come on.
I'm just telling you what I'm feeling right now.
It's still sitting at 7.5.
Depends where you shop.
Yeah. 7.5. It's sitting at. A lot of people are going, public bets going towards the Giants right now. Just saying.
Well, you know who you fade those dopes. They don't know what they're doing.
14
I don't mean Giant fans. I mean just the betting public in large.
14-4 against the spread. That's all I'm saying.
14-4. Okay, and 15 of 18 in the wrong direction against this franchise. I mean, that encompasses a lot of games.
That is. But you got to remember the Giants were in a black hole.
Yeah.
For a decade.
No, I understand that. I get that. And does that mean anything to Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean,
not necessarily.
It's a long time, man. They had a little Hawking's radiation coming out in 2016. But other than that, they've been bad in black holes. Man.
Listen, not that you and I get a lot of birdies when we play, but the few times that we actually get birdies, right? I mean, think about it. You just stride to that tee box, right? You feel good. You feel confident.
That's how the Giants are going.
No. That's how the Eagle fans are rolling into that stadium because they've dropped 9 birdies in a row on the Giants.
And by the way,
15 of 18 they've won.
There's the skinny dude standing behind him with a big stick in his hand about to clobber at 350 and sink an eagle.
Ooh.
That's the Giants.
All right, let's go. There you go. 877-337-6666. So we've got Ian Rappaport coming up at 12:40 today. We've got our buddy Julian Love coming up at 1:20. And obviously, oh God, these calls should be interesting. I'm not trying to troll. I got to be true to the station. More important, I got to be true to the show. I don't think the Giants are going to win. I'm going to get this out today. I got it out yesterday. I'm going to get it out today. I hope that I'm wrong. And tomorrow will be a little more positivity. But I tell you today that positivity that I will project tomorrow, I won't necessarily mean. Because I don't believe it. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan.